Senior Rotax Super Final then, and things are really hotting up at Three Sisters. I think the start marshal's just told me 2 or 3 minutes. Let's go and speak to the man who's on pole, Sam Pollitt Racing's Jack Lilly. Jack, how are you feeling ahead of this one?
Good. I feel confident going into it as I've qualified on pole and just got to keep it clean going round and hopefully get a good result.
Obviously a circuit you like you say, you've qualified on pole.
Yeah, it's only a few miles away from the track, so I know it's so good. So I've only been here 3 times, so it's good to put it on pole.
Well done, sir. Good luck. Come this way. Let's just grab a quick word with Kern Sang. Kern, third place in the championship at the moment.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a great position here.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep it up the good work and bring it home and secure the 3rd place.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done. Great battle's been going on with yourself, Lorenzo and Caden, and it's been a great season all in all.
Yeah, brilliant championship. Everyone's been clean, fair racing, so hopefully it ends the same and what will be will be.
Love it. Great attitude. Thanks, Kern. Come this way, championship leader here, Louis Harvey. Louis from Argenti, kart number 5. So a little bit further back than we'd expect from a championship leader. So what are you thinking ahead of this one?
Just a nice clean race, stay out of trouble and hopefully bring home the title.
That's the plan. It's very much Louis Harvey's title to lose now. Jack Lilly and Tristan Rennie on the front row of the starting grid from Kian Sang and Caden McQueen. Then Thomas Wood and Charlie Walsh. Louis Harvey will go off P7 alongside Benjamin Doughty. And rounding out the top 10, Lorenzo Cordell and Chris Miller. Then it's Jake Gresty and George Hunter from Stephen Napier and Scott Mackerel. On row 8, it's going to be Gabe Balanka for Strawberry Racing and Callum Kinder, the privateer. Louis Weaver is alongside John Knox. And rounding out the top 20, it's Alex Moody for Cato Motorsport and James Otto for Croc Promotion. Gary Bird and Max Fitton, then Scott Dunsmore and Andrew Hughes from William Young and Andy Collinson, Jack Bate and Shane Collinson from Isaac Lord and Elliot Picard, and then Rhys Duthie from Max Kettle, Dylan Briley, Dan Hughes and Ben Perry. And we're not going to wait around, we're going straight on with it as we ride on board with Ben Doughty. He's going to go wheel to wheel there with the 39 of Charlie Walsh and goes round the outside of him through the first hairpin. Some brilliant moves from Doughty as he puts himself right into the hunt, and already there are problems. James Otto is off the road, several others down there with him as well as they go up past Penrith Climb and through to Joey Dunlop. They go now along the pit straight and up towards Paddock Bend, and it's already getting very hectic out there on this opening lap as the drivers are already putting on a show. Here's Caden McQueen in front of us. Now Caden McQueen is desperately trying to finish in the top 3 of the drivers' standings. Came into this weekend in the top 5. If he gets a win, depending on where everybody else in the title fight finishes, he has a chance to finish up the season as the runner-up. But Louis Harvey really is in a comfortable position in the league.
Yeah, Louis Harvey effectively is the champion-elect. What do we mean by that? It means he cannot lose whatever happens in this final, providing he isn't excluded after the race in post-race scrutineering and has to count the score. Providing that doesn't happen, this is Louis Harvey's championship.
Oh, goodness me, there is not a lot of room to play with there for Thomas Wood, and he skates his way through into 2nd position. That is as hard as nails an overtake as you're ever going to get to see at this level. So Ben Doughty now jockeying on behind Tristan Rennie, because Caden McQueen has already got past us. McQueen is now in 4th position, so Louis Harvey looking good. Currently running in P9, doesn't have to sweat, doesn't really matter where he finishes, so long as he does. And on the inside, that is going to be Caden McQueen diving on the inside of Jack Lilly. He gets through, Tristan Rennie tries to repeat the feat, but he can't get by until they go past Penrith Climb. Now Rennie gets through, so does Doughty. Not a lot there that Jack Lilly can do about it. He just has to let them go.
Yeah, coming off the valley there, that's a classic overtaking opportunity, coming down off the valley, Lucy's Valley, to give it its full title. We're out here left-handed now onto Rogerson Straight, down to the most important turn on the circuit. This left-hander here, get this wrong, kicks you over to the right-hand side. You can easily lose 1 or 2 miles per hour by the end of the straight and get overtaken.
And there is the exact proof of it. Look, Ben Doughty is going to get up alongside with Jack Lilly, and he's actually got through. So Ben Doughty got the move there on Jack Lilly to perfectly demonstrate it. As up the inside, that's Charlie Walsh getting through on Lorenzo Cordell, who just hasn't quite had it over the course of this weekend to be able to maximise his opportunity to race for the title. Louis Harvey has had it pretty much his own way since the start of the weekend, and now he's been able to lock himself into a position. But Caden McQueen is now all over the back of Tom Wood. He knows this is his last chance to score as many points as possible in 2022. He is going gung-ho, and he wants to make it happen. He is tucked up behind Tom Wood. There he is as they go through. Kian Sang is the man out in front, still leading away comfortably. And here comes Caden McQueen, diving through on the inside of Tom Wood. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, straight into second place.
Jack Lilly on the 33 car. He's struggling a bit now, but he's impressed me this weekend, Jake. Put it on pole, but having said that, in this final, starting to go backwards now. He will not be happy with that.
There's several drivers who are not quite ending the Ultimate Karting Championship season the way they wanted to, but this is only going to spur them on for more greatness for the 2023 season. So they all want to go out on a high note, and there has been a bit of an end-of-term atmosphere down in the paddock all weekend, so there's going to be some bragging rights to shoot for. Tristan Rennie getting a tiny bit loose on the way out of the radius of the left-hand flick, and as they go round Luna, he got a little bit sluggish on the throttle. So now they go into the first corner through the tight right, left curb, right curb, and along Lucy's Valley up towards Joey Dunlop corner, which is the right-hander before the old pit straight. You can just see how physical it gets as there's a slight elevation change, not a massive one, but once you drop down towards Joey Dunlop, you really start to feel it through the bottom end of the flex of the chassis, and that really sends a shockwave through the bottom of your spine as you go through. So, on board again with Ben Doughty, chasing down Tristan Rennie through the left flick, up to Luna. And look at the bounce in Tristan Rennie's car. That's another clear indication you've got to nail that left-hand part of the radius just right. Otherwise, you are fighting with the car all the way round Luna Bend, up the inside. Lorenzo Cordell seizes his chance and then loses ground, and they've hit each other.
Jack Lilly, that's Jack Lilly, the pole man, bouncing across the curb over the grass. And I was saying before, he won't be happy, he's going backwards, and he definitely will not be happy now, well down the middle of the field.
Yeah, two drivers fighting for the same bit of racetrack. Look at what happened. You see, they both went for the same part of the racetrack. That's a racing incident, clear as day.
And that will be a nose-fairing penalty, Jake, pretty much guaranteed.
Well, look at Caden McQueen now. He's all over the back of Kienta Sang, trying to go for the lead nice and early into this race, and he is going to make the launch up the inside. See you later, alligator. I'm off. He's going to take the lead. And if I know Caden McQueen, he is going to check out Charlie.
This is a lap further on. Caden sets the fastest lap. This is a battle for third going through now. That's Tom Wood. Is that the Thomas Wood, it says, Jake? Is that the Tom Wood?
It's tough, you know, there's so many drivers with that
Tom
name.
Wood from the triple shootout at Super 1 years ago in cadets?
You'll have to ask him next time you bump into him. Goodness me, I mean, there's so many drivers with the same name in British karting. It's always a tricky one to know, isn't it? Ben Doughty still hustling Tristan Rennie. As they come through Luna Bend once again, Doughty trying to get up alongside. There was not a lot of room to manoeuvre that, but he's had to bail out of it in the end. So he now just follows in behind Tristan Rennie once more, who is all over the back of Tom Wood. And I have to say, as much as you have to give credit to Caden McQueen for getting into the lead and getting good pace, massive credit has to go to Kienta Sang. He's the one who's pulled clear of everybody else, and he's still got this massive advantage over the train. And I'm very impressed with Kienta Sang in the second half of this season in Senior Rotax.
Yeah, he's been very strong, hasn't he? Took a win earlier in the season and really has shown his quality, no doubt. We're on board here with Ben Doughty, another driver with a great deal of quality. That's Ben and Tristan in front. Tristan Rennie, Tom Wood out front of these two. So Tom there in third place. Tristan will be trying to turn his fourth into a podium. Here they come towards us.
And our man on the spot, Kev, is keeping an eye on things from the side of the road to see how things are battling. Kev, what can you tell us?
Lap 15 in this Senior Rotax Superfighter, then Caden McQueen looks so comfortable out in front. Kern Sang just sort of mirroring every move though, a couple of cart legs behind, and then it's the rest of the pack. Just watching as I am by the chain link fence with all the other mums and dads. It's like there's two races going on at the moment. Caden and Kern out front, and then the best of the rest. But lots of action to watch as Kart 22 and Kart 101 just go by me, putting in moves. Doesn't really matter, I have to say, in this car, in these Senior Max sort of super finals at this level, even lower down in the field, there's still lots of infighting, lots of action to watch. It's great stuff, really is a good spectacle.
You're not wrong, Kev. Charlie Walsh and Ben Doughty very nearly swap paint as they go through turn one there. Excellent racing from the front of the field to the middle, right the way to the back as well. And I'm glad you picked up on the young talent Dylan Brierley. He's had a bit of a nightmare coming into the weekend, but he's certainly finishing it on his terms. Managed to get himself into the final after a good run in the super heat earlier on, I should say, and Dylan Brierley now definitely in the hunt in the midfield. So, battle still raging. Ben Doughty trying to get away from Charlie Walsh, who is making life very difficult for him as they get up towards Luna. As they come through once again, check out who's right behind. The man who is on the bubble to go for the title, Louis Harvey, sat there in 7th place. Doesn't need to overtake these guys. He can just have fun in these closing laps and just bring it on home. The Argenti team, Ron Meadows and the whole of the crew, Danny Sweeney and all the boys back there are going to be absolutely elated for Louis Harvey if he can bring this home.
Curtis Sang hounding Caden McQueen. He's not allowing Caden McQueen to clear off like he's done in earlier races, is he? And Louis Harvey there, I think might be sitting in 8th now, but that's more than good enough for the championship title. On board again with Ben Doughty. This is a battle for 5th. Charlie Walsh there in 6th.
So this is going to be an interesting one to hold on to, and you're right, because he's lost ground there to Chris Millar, has Louis Harvey. Millar getting through, not a problem at all for Louis Harvey. That won't cost him the championship at all. And with a minute to go on the clock, so impressed with Kian Tsang in this latter stage of the season. He's kept Caden McQueen honest all the way through this final. In previous rounds, Caden would have got into the lead, and that would have been the last we'd seen of him. But Tsang has really grown, he's developed, he's moulded himself into a front runner, and now he is keeping McQueen honest all the way through this race. The others are in a completely different class by the look of it. They both just dropped them, as Ben Doughty still desperately trying to hold on as they come back onto the Rogerson straight. Walsh has got closer than he has done in previous laps. They go through the left flick and into the right radius of Luna Bend. You can see they're a little bit tidier for Tristan Rennie. The back axle not bouncing around quite so much over the curb as they go down the straight once again into turn 1. And this time Rennie has finally nailed the move there on Thomas Wood. He finally gets his man into 3rd position, goes Tristan Rennie. But I don't think this is done yet. There's going to be plenty of battles and squabbles going into the closing lap in a bit. And in fact, the time ticks down to 0. Thomas Wood's coming back at Tristan Rennie. Now Ben Doughty's trying to squeeze through on the inside line at Paddock Bend. Is there enough room? Yes, but is there enough momentum? No, there's not. And over the curb goes Ben Doughty. That's going to cost him everything.
And Charlie Walsh has gone with him as well. That's Charlie in front.
Oh.
So Charlie for ST Racing.
So not great news for Charlie Walsh and Ben Doughty, thrown out of the challenge for the podium. The leaders have already gone through, the dust is clearing, and we go into the last lap here at Three Sisters. Caden McQueen and Kian Tsang way out in front, still dueling for the lead, just in case there is one last mistake of the 2022 season for Caden McQueen. Not that the Zipcar driver is going to let one of those creep in on the last lap at Three Sisters. He loves this circuit. It is a pure driver's cathedral of speed, and he is keeping hold of this lead without any hesitation. Kian Tsang, full credit to him for staying with him all the way through. He's really worked hard to stay in position. He will come through now in fantastic fashion, and he will take the checkered flag. Great work from Caden McQueen. He wins the final race of the year. Kian Tsang in 2nd place. Who is going to come through for 3rd? It will just be Thomas Wood ahead of Tristan Rennie. But the man who finishes behind them all in 6th position behind Chris Millar, with the top 4, McQueen, Tsang, Wood, Rennie, and then Chris Millar in 5th. It's Louis Harvey, the new champion in P6, from Jake Gresty, Gabe Belanca, Charlie Walsh, and George Hunter. Great work from Dylan Briley and Daniel Hughes. They both made up more than a dozen places each in the final race of the year. And that means that the 2022 Senior Rotax Championship standings look like this. Louis Harvey has the title won. Lorenzo Cordell, Kian Tsang and Caden McQueen only separated by 9 points at the end of a close encounter. Tristan Rennie in P5 from Jensen Watts. Then Weaver, Wood, Lilly and Doughty finish off a fabulous 2022 Senior Rotax campaign.